Move to your mats. We'll begin in that Shavasana, lying on the floor. Let me see, move my camera just a little bit more. There we go. Go ahead and get a comfortable space and just lie down. Kind of scoot your shoulders under, feel your hips on the ground. Let your arms be at ease at your side. Let your toes flop to the bottom corners of your mat. And just close your eyes and see how you're feeling today. Happy Friday, by the way, everyone. And thank yourselves for taking this time for yourselves on the mat today. We'll take a moment of silence and just concentrate on your breath coming in and out of your nose. Go ahead and bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. And feel where you're breathing. Is it in your belly or do you feel it more in your chest? Go ahead and let go of your belly. And when you're breathing, go ahead and let it rise up. Let go of those muscles that we're always using to try to hold our bellies in. And pooch your belly out when you're breathing. On your next exhale, and you can use the hand on your belly to gently help you get all of the air out of your lungs. Inhale through your nose slowly, all the way up through your belly. Feel it in the back of your belly button, all the way up through your chest. Imagine it coming all the way up to the top of your head. And when you get to the top, open your mouth. And when you're ready, sigh it out like you're fogging up a mirror. When you get to the bottom of your breath, we'll repeat that and breathe in. This time, when you get to the top, hold your breath for a moment before you exhale. And then open your mouth and fog up that mirror again. When you get to the bottom of your exhale, you may hold your breath for a moment if that works for you before inhaling. And then inhale all the way up slowly. When you get to the top of your breath, see if you can take one more sip of air. See if you can hold it for a moment. And this time, seal your lips and breathe it out through your nose, keeping that growl in the back of your throat. When you get to the bottom, you may decide to hold your breath for a moment before you breathe in. Let's take a few rounds of this breath at your own pace. Deep cleansing breaths. Remember, fully exhaling is just as important, if not more than inhaling. Getting all of the toxins out. And all of the oxygen in. Go ahead and start to wiggle your fingers and toes. You can bring your arms back down by your side. You might do some ankle stretches here. And then raise your hands over your arms with your palms facing each other and take that good morning stretch on an inhale. And on the exhale, feel yourself melt your shoulders and everything, just relax and melt down into the mat. On the inhale, stretch. And on the exhale, just relax down into the mat. Inhale, stretch, and on the next exhale, bring your knees into your chest. You can grab for the backs of your calves and roll around a little bit, giving your lower back a massage. On your next inhale, send your left leg down to the mat and pull your right knee towards your armpit when you breathe in. Feel your belly rising up to your thigh there. And on the exhale, you can just relax. Go ahead and let's do some ankle circles. You can do that in both ankles. Just roll your ankles in one direction a few times. And now roll your ankles in the other direction. And now take your hand on that right knee and let's draw. You can put your left hand down for support and draw some big circles on the ceiling with your right knee. Like opening up that hip this morning, you might feel some snap, crackles, and pops. Go ahead then and draw the circles the other way. See how big you can make those circles on the ceiling. It's a good rotation in your hip. Go ahead and hug that knee in, this time towards your belly button. And send your right leg down to meet your left, and your right leg might feel longer than your left leg now. And then inhale your left leg in and pull it towards your left shoulder. And on the exhale, relax down into the mat. Inhale, pulling it in towards your shoulder. Go ahead and do some ankle twists, circulate your ankles around. You can go in the other direction. And then take your left hand on your left knee and draw those circles on the ceiling. And then draw them the other way. And send your left leg down to meet your right. Take a nice stretch here, another good morning stretch. And then we'll come around. Let's get onto our tabletop. And before we do any cats and cows, let's stretch the bottoms of our feet. So tuck those toes under and come back. And remember, you can use pillows or anything that you need. If you need something between here, if you can, sit back towards your heels or on your heels if that works in your body. And this is important for stretching the tops of your feet. You can stretch up if you want. And just feel that stretch in your feet. Go ahead and gently move forward. We want to keep that stretch that we've done and gently move to the tops of your feet. And then you can sit back towards your feet. You may not be on your feet. But if you are, and it works in your body, you can start to walk your hands back and pop your knees up off the mat and rock back and stretch the tops of your feet. And come back on up. Let's come up to standing. We'll meet in mountain pose with your hands by your side. And let's just take a stretch here. If it works in your back and shoulders, you can look up and you can even arch. And then hands out to the side, eagle. And you can have your feet hip width apart. Eagle, dive down. And keep a bend in your knees. And bend your knees enough so that your chest is resting on the tops of your thighs. You can have your hands hanging. If it works for you, grab for opposite elbows and totally let your head just go. Let your neck and your shoulders completely relax. You can stay with your legs bent like this. You can work on straightening your legs, just don't lock your knees. You might want to sway back and forth. You can shake your head yes and no, giving it a little twist. And just let your head hang. We carry around this heavy head all day, and letting this inversion can help. to release some stress on your neck and shoulders. This is called ragdoll pose. I recommend this if you're sitting at the computer for a long time or anything that's repetitive. If you can take a moment to just do ragdoll pose for a couple of moments and then come back, I guarantee you'll feel better. All right, let your hands go and we'll slowly imagine coming up one vertebrae at a time. Your head will come up last. And you can stretch those arms up over your head, take that back bend. And we'll come back down to the mat, onto all fours with our feet behind us flat. Our hands are underneath our shoulders, our knees are underneath our hips. If you look down and you see your toes, scoot your toes out so that you can't see them. Remember not to put all of your weight on your wrists. You want to kind of claw your fingers so that you're on your finger pads so that you're not hurting your wrists. And on the inhale, drop your belly, look up, lift your rear end. And on the exhale, we'll take that cat pose. You can even come up on your fingertips if you want. And arch. And inhale and come up. And exhale, arch. You can take any movements here. It might feel good to look over your right shoulder and move your right hip and try to look at your hip over your shoulder. So move your hip over your head and bang back through center. And don't forget to breathe. Look over at your left hip and turn your head that way. It gets twist in the neck. And then we'll meet in this comfortable seated position, whatever is comfortable for you. Simple cross-legged is fine. If you want to have your legs out in front of you, that's also fine. If you want to sit on your feet like this, that is also fine. Whatever works best in your body. I'm just going to sit in simple cross-legged and put my hands on my knees. And let's do some neck rolls. So look down, and then we'll, keeping our head down, go over to your right shoulder. And then try to look over your shoulder. And then we'll come back down to center. And let's, keeping your head down, go to your left shoulder and try to look over your left shoulder and twist that neck. And come back down through center. Go back to the right, and this time tilt your head back. And we'll take some very slow twists where you're looking down, where you're keeping your head tilting back. And remember, if anything hurts in your body or there's any injury, just skip what we are doing that does not work in your body. All right, go ahead and let's rotate the other way a few times and keep breathing. And come back through center. Let's stretch up. And then take your left hand on your left knee and your right hand behind you and look over your right shoulder. That would give a good twist in your neck there. Come back through center, breathe in, exhale, right hand to left knee, left hand behind you, and look over your left shoulder. Back up through center. Let's twist to the right again with the exhale. Inhale through center, exhale to the left. Inhale through center. Let's take our first yin pose, and I want to begin with a simple forward stretch. And so if you'll put your feet out in front of you, and I'll give you the choice. If you feel like you really want that shoulder stretch today, well, let's do that. You can do eagle arms, or if eagle arms, that one where we really twist around, doesn't work for you, you can go ahead and put your hands on each shoulder. And if any time the eagle arms feels a little bit too much for you, you can always back out into this on your shoulders. So let's go ahead and wrap our left arm underneath our right, if you're taking eagle arms. If not, you have your arms on your shoulders. And go ahead and look up, and then just start to lean forward. Your elbows might meet your legs, they might never meet your legs. That's okay. If you want to, because the point is to be able to relax, if you want to, you can always put a pillow here on your lap. And then when you come forward, you're meeting something to relax on to take this pose. You should feel a good stretch through your shoulders here, a good stretch in your lower back, and you can just relax. Again, if you need more stretch in your back and your shoulders are preventing it, you could just switch to your hands on top of your shoulders and just breathe. Make sure that you let your neck go and just hang. Don't be holding any tension anywhere. Take your tongue off the top of your mouth. Let your jaw relax. Let everything just relax and melt forward. Gently unwind and sit up. And if you're taking eagle arms, let's go ahead and unwind. And this time your right arm will come under your left and grab your hands. If you had your hands on your shoulders, stack the opposite elbow on top and take the different hug. And we can stretch up and we'll lean back forward again with our arm the opposite way as before. just relax. You should feel yourself sinking a little bit more deeply towards the earth. Go ahead and gently unwind, and we will come back up to sitting. And for our next pose, we're gonna come over to our bellies, and we're gonna do a hip opener. We haven't done this one yet in this class. I was just in a class where someone did this, and I said, "Oh, I forgot about this pose." And we're gonna do half frog. If you practice full frog and you know what I'm talking about, you can. But I'm gonna demonstrate half frog. And what we're gonna do is keeping our right leg down, we're going to bring our left knee up and our foot out. And this is why it's called frog, because you look like a frog when you're doing it. And so you can bring your knee up as much as you want. If you need more of a stretch, you can always put a block or a pillow underneath your leg as you bring it up. And you should feel a good stretch in your hip. And so you're keeping your right hip point down, and your knee is going to come up and your foot is up. And you can have your forehead down, or you can rest on your ear and just relax into the mat. And you should feel a good stretch actually in both of your hips and do frog. And you can pull your knee up. This is going to look, if your knee's just up a little bit, don't go to shooting pain, but you can bring your knee up as much as you can, and you'll feel a stretch in your inner thigh and in your outer hip. And just breathe and melt into the ground. Make sure that you're relaxing your shoulders, your hips, everything is melting towards the earth. Just let all of your muscles go and breathe. go ahead and bring your knee back down to meet the other one, and you can just rest for a moment in the middle. And then we're going to repeat on the other side. So if you'll bring your right knee up, and this side might feel totally different. Your foot is out to the side like a frog. Your left hip point is still facing down. And you'll try to bring it up as far as you can to get that stretch in your thigh and in your hips. And then you can have your arms out. That's sort of like a frog too. And you can rest on your ear. You can always have your forehead down. And try to just let everything go. Let your hips, let all of your muscles go, and just relax into the ground, getting that good stretch in your hip. Make sure you're not holding any tension in your shoulders. Just let them go. Let all of your muscles go in your hips and breathe. Bring that right leg back down and then roll over onto your back And take your feet as wide as the mat and your arms out, and you can just windshield wiper your legs back and forth very slowly a couple of times. Just stretch out those hips. They should be nice and open now. And from our backs, go ahead and scoot your hips a little bit over to the left on your mat. And then either, if it works in your body, you can make a box over your head by grabbing for opposite elbows, and then you'll pull your left bicep towards your left ear and start to scoot your head over. If not, you can always grab for your left wrist with your right hand and stretch up and over. I'm going to move our head and our shoulders, leaving our hips alone for a moment. We're going to move over to the top right of our mat, and then go ahead and start moving your feet to the bottom right. I'm sorry, this is the right of the mat. And leaving your hips square on the ground. They shouldn't be popping up. And this is called, it's a nice C shape, or it's also called banana asana. If you need a little extra stretch, or if later, if you feel like you need more stretch, you can always cross that left leg up and over the right. So you can either have your hands up and over, grasping for that wrist or that box, and your shoulders and your hips should stay on the ground. So if they're popping up, just back out of the shape a little bit. And just breathe. You can close your eyes and just breathe here and feel that nice stretch in your left side. Make sure you're not clenching your shoulders, relax them into the mat and breathe. go ahead and come back to center. And you can bring your feet up so that you can scoot your hips a little bit to the right. And we're going to repeat on the other side. If you had that box over your head, you might change and have your opposite arm underneath. It might feel a little bit strange. Or you can grab for your right wrist with your left hand and stretch up and over. We're going to start to move towards the top left of the mat, and our feet will start to move towards the bottom left of the mat, feeling that good stretch on your right side this time. Again, if you need a little extra stretch, you can cross that right leg over the left. And just let your shoulders and your legs and everything go. Remember, your hips and shoulders should stay on the mat and just relax into the ground. And breathe. Slowly unwind and roll over to your favorite side and come all the way up into tabletop onto your knees, and take your knees, make your toes touch and bring your knees as wide as the mat. Again, you're going to bring your feet back towards your heels. If they don't reach, you can prop some pillows. For this pose, you might want to have a whole big stack of pillows, because what we're if you're not going to meet the mat, so we're back in child's pose on our hips are going back. You might have a pillow here. Take your left hand into the middle, and we're back into our child's pose in the back part of our body. And we're going to stretch up, and this is going to be good for our neck and our heads. And then we're going to thread the needle all the way through. And if your shoulder does not meet the ground, this is where you need something underneath you, because you want your shoulder to be making contact with something. So if you have a stack of pillows here and you're like this on your neck and your shoulders, you're getting the stretch that you need, your legs and everything, because the point is to be able to let those muscles go and to relax into the ground. This will be different in everyone's body. So if your body does not meet the ground, you don't want to be just hanging out in the air. So have a pillow or something underneath you And this is thread the needle, and you should feel a good stretch in your right shoulder. Your right hand can just be next to you, or if you want an extra stretch, you can take that bind. You can take your left hand up and over and reach back like you're reaching into your back right pocket. Or you can just relax with your hand to the side and just feel that stretch in your right shoulder and your neck. And just breathe and melt into the ground or melt into your pillow. Go ahead and unwind and come back up through the center. And we're going to repeat that on the other side. The other side may feel totally different. Again, use your pillows if you need them. This time, our right hand is going to be in the center, and we're back towards our heels. We might have pillows there as well. And we're going to stretch up and look over, and then we're going to thread the needle. We'll put our hand through that keyhole, and our shoulder will go towards the ground. If this side is different, if your shoulder meets the ground, fine. If not, please put a pillow or a cushion or a block or something there, because you want to be making contact with something. And then just totally relax into the ground and breathe. You should feel a good stretch in your shoulder here. Again, if you want more of a stretch, you can take the bind. You can reach your right hand up and reach around like you're reaching for your left pocket. That's fine. Or you can just relax and keep your hand by your side. Breathe. Go ahead and unwind and gently make your way back to your backs. And we're going to do a twist. This is really important for digestion. And we'll twist to the right first. So just with your arms out to a T, I like to have my palms up and just relax. And you can just bring your knees up and over to the right. Again, if they don't meet the ground, put a pillow underneath them because you want to be able to relax. If you're really open now and need more of a stretch, you can cross that left over your right. If you're really need a chest, you can do that eagle leg where you wrap your foot behind. So whatever it is that you need here, go ahead and twist to the right. Your shoulders should stay on the ground. So if they're popping up, you might need that pillow underneath your legs. If it works in your neck and shoulders, go ahead and look towards your left hand and just relax into the ground and breathe. Unwind and come back to center, bringing your feet up, and you can scoot your hips to the right of your mat a little bit this time. And keeping your hands out at a T, your shoulders down, we're going to drop our knees to the other side. This side might feel totally different. Again, you can twist, if you need an extra stretch, you can wrap your right leg up over your left. You can even take eagle legs by wrapping your foot behind if that works in your body, whatever it is you need. If your knees are not hitting the ground or nothing's hitting the ground on the side, put a pillow or something underneath on that side and just breathe and relax and melt into the ground. Oh, and I forgot to say, if it works in your body, turn your head and look towards your right hand. Slowly unwind, coming back to center, taking any stretches that your body might crave. A good one is to act like you're walking on the ceiling with your knees out, you let your feet up. You can grab for your feet, you can grab for your shins. This is happy baby, and you can roll around a little bit. You might feel good to grab your something and stretch your legs one at a time or both at the same time. Any kind of stretch that feels good before we move into our final shavasana, and you can come back just like what we did at the beginning of class. If you're near a wall like I am, I'm really enjoying these days. Legs up the wall seems to feel really good to me. So you can come and get your hips as close to the wall as you like, or if you want to just go ahead and take regular shavasana, that's fine. And then what you'll do is you'll put your legs up and turn. So you're trying to get your bottom as close to the wall as you can and your legs up the wall. And then your hands can just relax at your side, either palms up or palms down, whatever feels good in your body, and just relax. Or like the beginning of class with your feet on the mat, with your toes flopping towards the corner of the mat. And just close your eyes and breathe in and out through your nose and see how you're feeling. And try to bring your mind to your breath. If your mind starts to wander, that's okay. But think about that air coming in and out of your nose and relax. Gently start to wiggle your fingers and toes, and then roll over to your favorite side. If you're at the wall like me, you can bend your knees and come down. And use your bottom arm as a pillow. You're in this yogi fetal position for just a moment, breathing, checking out how you feel today. Hopefully fabulous after all of the stretching. And we'll meet in a seated position. Thank you so much for practicing with me on this rainy Friday morning. And I hope that you all have a wonderful day. And I bow to you. The light in me shines the light in all of you. And I value all of your friendships. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day and can take something from this practice with you.